Hello, Collective. Welcome to my channel. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button, please. Let's just jump right in right away, because I'm not going to be on here too long. I'm doing some other things here, but um, let's talk about the enemy. Let's talk about the Antichrist. Let's talk about the devil. Let's talk about the spiritual warfare, okay? It was brought to my attention why I have been watching scary movies all my life, and now I'm figuring it out, okay? Because I'm a spiritual warrior fighting in the spiritual warfare between the dark and the light. That's one reason, right? I've been studying the enemy and how he thinks on many different scary movies, okay? All my life. The messages and the downloads is like, the devil could be my father, okay? And his son, some of his children are my enemies, okay? Some of his children, which could be a brother that I don't know about or a brother that I do know about. For some I know, for some I don't, right? It came to my attention about maybe my mother having an abortion or letting go of a child that I don't know about, okay? I was getting something like that, like having a brother that I don't know about, or maybe I was kept and the other one wasn't, or one got law, one may have passed, something like that, or even like pertaining to my own mother and father, like them being alive and losing a child, a brother or sister, or them being one being good and one being bad, like two twins, two or children that were aborted, or they could have thought these beings were aborted and they weren't. About the enemy using people against each other, uh, about the Gemini killer coming out in some of my readings, and God exposing to me that this individual is not dead, he's still walking on this planet, about how the enemy is an entity, and that literally could use any form and jump into any living host. Could be a human, could be an animal. All it needs is a living host, and it could jump from body to body. I specifically remembering a movie that literally showed me that, and I don't remember the name of the movie, but I've seen many. How the enemy doesn't, like, has yet to die, it just keeps coming back. How the enemy wants me or some of you, especially if you're chosen, because of the gifts and who we are. How some people are kept and hidden and for reasons of this, because of the spiritual warfare. How I saw a movie yesterday, I believe it was. And it was like an enemy in the movie, and he literally used a sister and a brother, and they were in love with each other, but they both were from him. But how they ended up working to overpower him and keep him stuck. See, the enemy is many things, many people, whether the Antichrist, whether a dark occult leader, whether a dark family member, whether a dark stranger. And especially when you awaken in the spiritual warfare, when you awaken, you're very alert. You can see clear as day. Like many times in the past year or two, in my videos, I have told you, like, I went to different stores or out, which I don't go out often, but, and I literally saw people looking at me like in a very ugly way. And I gave them the same energy they gave me, I gave it back to them. To be honest, I did. Seeing men looking at my stomach, like looking at my womb and not looking at me. Because the enemy has spoken and told individuals things. They know because they're a part of his army. Having people in the clinic where I go say they're gonna give you an a pap smear, and I'm like, here in this office? I said, they ain't give me no pap smear before. Why they want to give me one all of a sudden? Because they ain't never gave me one here, and this is not an OB-GYN office. I'm prone to going to an OB-GYN specialist. And I made sure that they did not. The enemy uses so many people, especially when you're chosen or you're one of God's warriors fighting in this spiritual warfare. Realizing that the enemy doesn't die as easy as you and I would wish that they could. It's not that easy. It's a lot more complicated. And I need a lot of you authority figures to realize that and study on your own time. Your commanding officers, your sergeants, whoever's in charge of all these police departments, all of the authority figures worldwide, you need to start studying and training your people for this. This is not a game. Remembering seeing a movie about 2 officers specifically, and me knowing before I even watched the movie that it was going to be that a Caucasian against it was a white officer, a black officer, but that didn't have nothing to do with it. But what it did have to do with was the enemy was using one and God was using the other. A man figuring out that, damn, this person I thought I knew my whole life was right in my face was the enemy. Realizing that the only way to kill this host, because the man of God, which I believe was Denzel, could have been anybody, but I think it was him, but I'm not 100% sure, that God was literally showing him like all this entity was jumping from body to body just to get close to him. And that's what the enemy does. Realizing, like Jesus and many other ascending masters, that sometimes in this spiritual warfare that you just might have to put your life on the line and die with that dark entity in order for it to die. The reason Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy Krueger, all these different movies you watch come back, they show you that they're hard to die and don't come back, is because this entity, this demonic entity, is not easily taken out. That's why he's very upset, especially with me. Because I know him well. I know him a little bit too well. It's kind of scary. And some of you may as well. So I need many of you to start learning, studying, listening to what I'm saying. Because this has a lot to do with this spiritual warfare, and it has everything to do with all of us. Every last being on this planet. And I need you to understand something today. That if my father indeed is the devil, nor my brother or anybody else for that matter, the Antichrist, I will remove them and take them out at any cost. I came here to do a job for God and for God's people and the innocent people on this planet, and that is exactly what I will do. Until my ending, until the death of me. No matter how much pain and suffering. I will not finish until I came to do what I came to do. And then when I am gone, there will be another that will take my place. So think about what I'm saying to each of you today. There are no coincidences. When your intuition is speaking to you and it's talking to you, there is a reason why. Listen to the signs, the synchronicities, the downloads you're getting. Again, let me be very frank. I do not care if you are my father, the devil himself. I will do what I came to do. And if you get in the way of what I came to do, I will remove you at all costs. We will fight to the bitter end. And if anybody knows that, you do. You do now. The same way that the enemy is watching and lurking and got people watching me and watching everything I do, whether in the flesh or whether precognition, remote viewing, however, energy vampires, demonic demons using their gifts. Just remember, I'm always watching too. Oh, am I watching? And I listen to every download and sign and synchronicity I get from the universe. Because one thing about my Father in heaven, my real Father, He's never going to lie to me. Many of you need to really, really study and research. Number 13 is on the phone. I look to the side and I see 13 on my iPad. I'm 13 minutes in. I see the year 1991 when I graduated, 91%. I graduated in 1991. I see 645, a Gemini, an Aries, a Taurus. When I see those three numbers, I see my mother, my two sons. What I see? Somebody that could be 64, 45, 54, 56, 69, 61, 68. Study the spiritual warfare and let every word that I speak to each of you on a daily basis sink in, especially on times like this when I'm being very serious about the spiritual warfare. Yes, the Gemini killer still walks amongst us. Whether you thought that individual was dead or not, no, that individual, that killer still walks amongst us. Individuals like Jeffrey Dahmer, the Antichrist, whatever you want to call all these dark entities, yes. This is why many of God's warriors are here, like myself, trying to bring an ending to all the darkness and the madness and bringing endings to this so it will no longer keep going from lifetime to lifetime. Let me just put it to you like this. Sometimes some things are just hard to die off. Is there a way? Of course there is. That's why we're here, right? We're learning from each other, studying, trying to figure out everything together, right? It's why it's called togetherness. It's called God's armies. It's called putting your brains together. Watching the movies you watch, getting the signs and synchronicity, using the wisdom and the knowledge that we all have, putting our heads together. My hand is itching like crazy. A lot of money is coming. It's a lot of money coming. A lot of blessings. For staying the course. Oh no, I don't scare easily. I don't. Tired I may get. Scare easily, finished, not continue on. No. No. No, I'm sorry. I've been through too much in too many lifetimes to finish and just give up. And I'm not scared of dying, if that's what you're wondering. I died many times. Death is not an issue for me. So think about those things, please. Always, always use your minds. Just some things I wanted you all to think about for today, okay? Because God put it on my mind, right? While I was sitting here watching Halloween, whatever one this is. It was already from the last, maybe last month, and I never finished watching it. I've watched these movies over and over again. But like I tell you, there's a reason why I keep watching them. Because there's always another piece of the puzzle that I get. I feel like it's a brother. It's somebody. It's a brother. It's somebody jealous, envious. Somebody didn't want somebody. Somebody, somebody felt unwanted. Somebody felt unloved. Somebody was lied to. Somebody was this. And this is what I'm feeling. Whether it's my own brother and sisters, whether it's my mother's brother and sisters, whether it's the devil, his children, whatever it is. Could be my own children for all I know, okay? But this is what I'm feeling deep down. One is dark and one is light. No matter who I'm speaking to. One is dark and one is light. And I've often wondered that about twins. Because usually with twins, there's usually one that's dark and one that's light. I mean, really, they should even each other out, but that doesn't always work like that. Makes sense why a lot of the 144,000 that are twins, why that happens with them. Why there's no middle ground. Because one is more dark and one is more light. But what's really supposed to happen is when you're a twin, like I just said, you're supposed to balance each other out. That's why God ordained it that way. We are supposed to balance each other out. So then that balances the world out. So I'll just leave that. 19 is on the phone. I just told you. I saw my son, my youngest son, my middle son, and my mother. Look at, and 13 and 19 came out. And 651 is on my other phone over here. Because I'm using two different electronics here. So I see my mother, June. And I see my middle son. And I see my youngest son. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm telling you what I'm seeing. So think about what I said. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. All right? And I'll talk to you later. Thank you.